it's sort of a controversial era we've just gone through in baseball.
It's hugely controversial, although, you know, when you get back and you have some historical perspective, you begin to understand that almost every era has had some great thing. And that's what our series was about. This wasn't going to be a sugar-coated view of baseball. But yes, because it's recent, it vibrates a little bit more intensely with all of the stuff that's going on.
Baseball's always had a level of corruption in it.
Of course. I mean, first of all, this is a game that tolerates stealing. We have the statistic. He stole this many bases, right? So we begin with this. But no, from the very beginning in the 1860s, when people were throwing pitches, curveballs, and rising fastballs intended to deceive, all of this stuff is part of the game. And we like that human dimension of it. What steroids did is it just took it to a dimension, an unacceptable dimension.
And it made the superhuman feats of the athletes actually extra human. You didn't, as a fan, you know, believe in the players as much because you knew they were getting extra help.
Absolutely. So let's just now look at it with a little bit of perspective and say baseball, which had the worst testing of any professional sport, now has the best. That 50 home run season is a rarity. Now we're on the backside of it, and it looks like it's a manageable thing. So let me just say, tell me, when you look up the 1919 World Series, who won?
The
Cincinnati Red Stockings.
Yes, exactly.
But we know something about that, right?
Sure.
We know that the Chicago White Sox, forever now known as the Black Sox, threw that series because they've been paid by Arnold Rothstein and other gamblers to throw the series.
Corruption again.
But there's no asterisk there.
Does Barry Bonds deserve an asterisk?
Nobody deserves an asterisk. What happens in this sport in which statistics matter? We still require stories to be told. And then I get to keep my job because I tell stories.
Exactly. By the way, Barry Bonds is a big central figure in both of your
Huge.
films. Did you try to seek his participation for an interview for this?
Yes, and quite smartly his lawyers told him not to. And we were able to go back, and I find really revealing press conferences and interviews that he gave in which he often says, I'm not evil. And if we understand the complexity of Bonds' biography, that his father had himself a rough time in the major leagues, suffering in Jim Crow America, unspeakable names, succumbing to alcohol abuse, becoming wary, traded to many different teams, that this kid grew up in that pressure cooker to be, let us put it on the table. He is arguably the greatest person who has ever played the game of baseball, period, full stop. And he will forever carry around the scarlet letter A, the asterisk over his head, as he goes into Cooperstown, as he lives out the rest of his life. And that is Barry Bonds' cross to bear. But we as fans can actually learn not to react at the level of the binary, the good, bad, yes, no, where we're all preoccupied with differences, and understand it as a complex biography that's actually not too different than people in our own lives that we know.
Well, that's what the 10th inning does with Barry Bonds. It
That's what
ties
we're
into
trying
his
to do.
family history, to American culture and American history as well.
And so this is just figuring out how to tell stories. And I'm fortunate to work in public television where there are no commercials. So you get to all meaning and cruise and duration, you get to extend that out. And you have a chance because of that outlet to reach 35 million people each time. And, people do something. Attendance is up at the national parks. The battlefields have had spikes in attendance for the last 20 years since the Civil War came out. That's the best testament. No award, no amount of money, no good critical reviews mean anything if people don't get up off the couch and go do something that these things suggest. And in this case, I hope they go watch our national pastime.
But before you get off the couch, make sure you watch the 10th inning.
Yeah, no, I think it's
PBS starting September
28th and 29th. Yep.
Ken Burns, thank you for coming back to Wallet Pop. We appreciate talking to you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
And you can get more videos right here all the time for free on walletpop.com.